through the SNAP challenge. Well, for one, I think it's very important for us as youth ambassadors to really, really understand what it is we're combating, essentially. And it's one thing to hear the word hunger and to think of being hungry as someone who's food secure. And it's one thing to hear the word hunger as someone who is food insecure and who doesn't know where their next meal is coming from and isn't just sitting in class like waiting for lunchtime so they can bust out their sandwich and 5 snacks. It's hunger is something that's bigger than that, and I don't think it's something that I can necessarily understand currently with the perspective that I have, growing up the way I did. And I don't think I'll honestly ever be able to fully understand it because it is something that lasts more than a week, which is how long our SNAP challenge is lasting. But I think that it's going to help create some empathy there. And I think it's something that's really important, especially when, it's the problem that we're trying to fight. So I think we need to develop an understanding of that.
We kind of talked about this idea that the amount of money that people spend on random things, anything from Starbucks, one 5-hour energy would consume most of the $4 allotment. Is it a total mind shift that you have to go through on realizing that the limited amount of money there is and how much things cost proportionately?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times yesterday I wanted to stop at Sonic and get a milkshake or something, but I couldn't because I'd already spent all $20 of my budget on, ingredients for food for the whole week. And I still haven't really fully grasped how different it is to have to shop for an entire week on $20 as compared to, last week when I could just go out and get a drink, which, would be $3 for an iced tea somewhere. So that is definitely, it's extremely different and extremely challenging because I don't think I've ever had to think about things this way, and it makes me feel really terrible for all the years that I've just spent money on things that cost a lot more than I could be spending. So I don't know, it's definitely something that I feel like is going to really set in by Thursday when I realize, wow, I'm living on $20 for this entire week when normally I'd be spending over $20 a day on meals. So it's definitely something to get used to.
A lot of people talk about disparity. I mean, that the poor are so poor in America, the wealthy are so wealthy, and then the middle class doesn't really understand how good they have it. Is that coming into focus for you, that walking into the grocery store with $20 and saying, how do people do it?
Oh yeah, oh definitely. Like Mary Catherine said, we spent an hour and a half in the grocery store, and I think I could have spent another 3 hours there if I'd had that time. Because even at the checkout, I honestly think I went to the checkout at least 4 times. I did the self-checkout a few times because I didn't know what I'd have to put back. And it was extremely stressful because I didn't honestly know what I should give up. It's when it comes down to should I give up my bread or my yogurt, it's really challenging. And I think I went into the store with this idea that I'd be able to just buy generics and buy the cheapest of everything so that I could, preserve my variety in the things that I eat, but that is not possible. It's definitely not possible. And experiencing that definitely puts, the disparity that you're talking about in perspective because, on a normal day, I have the freedom to be able to pick whatever I want and be able to eat that and not fear that at the checkout I won't have enough money to pay for it. And I think that's definitely a big issue that's really starting to come into focus. And it's something that, I've thought about it before, but never really understood it. And so I'm kind of excited to really experience that and see how that turns out.
Does it make you sad?
Oh yeah, it definitely does. Last night, neither of my parents or my brother are doing this with me, so they get to enjoy all the food in our house while I eat what I bought. And last night, I kid you not, my mom and my dad combined probably asked me at least 30 times if I wanted something like pears or the watermelon that we have in the fridge or the smoothie that my dad made for, post-workout, like just all of that. And I can't tell you how many times like my mom was watching me make, myself a snack or make myself dinner, and she was just like, we're sitting here and you're doing this and you're having to stick to your budget, but there's so many people out there who, when they run out, it's like the end of it. There's nothing else left. And I did think about that a lot. Like my food that I bought, my bananas, bread, the other staples that I bought, like if that were to run out, I could be able to go to my fridge and just pick something else out of there and just feel bad because I did break the challenge, but I wouldn't have to worry about being hungry. And that's not the case for a lot of people, all the SNAP recipients in Arkansas and in the country. They don't have the freedom to just open their fridge and pick something out of there when they run out of their food. So it's really upsetting, and in a way, it almost makes me feel guilty because I haven't been well versed on this issue until now. And I know for a fact that there's tons of people out there who still don't really understand the issue. And I think until that awareness is really, brought upon in the people, nothing's really gonna be able to change, and we're not really gonna be able to make a huge difference. So.
What is your SNAP myth?
My SNAP myth is that that SNAP is a waste of tax dollars. But in fact, for every SNAP dollar that is spent, $1.84 is contributed to our economy because SNAP participants will shop in local supermarkets and other stores to get their food, and that contributes to the economy. That really stimulates some growth. So.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. Just that I think this is a really great experience for anyone. And I say anyone because I don't think you have to be interested in the issue to really want to help. And I really wish that more people would experience this so that they can understand why when they go to the grocery store, someone in front of them might be taking a long time, or why someone might be grumpy when you run into them, or why there's a kid in class who isn't listening to the teacher. A lot of the times it's hunger and we don't really think about that. So I think that's a big thing to take from this experience.